From Time Bandits to Time Baby, nerds are passionate about a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, and that is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us on today's episode, we have Nathan Yaffe.
Happy to be here.
Haley Mancini.
Covered in cat fur and ready to go.
And Kirk D'Amato.
Catchphrase.
Game is very simple. I have here a stack of statements. These are false, untrue statements about the things that you like. It's up to you to find what is wrong with it and correct me by buzzing in. Only two rules are you must precede your corrections with the phrase, actually. If you don't, I won't give you a point. And you can interrupt me at any point when I'm reading the question. You don't need to wait for the question to finish, just like in real life. That's pretty much it. How are you guys feeling? It looks like there's a little bit of nerves. There's some tension on the bench a bit.
To quote Star Wars, I've got a good feeling about this.
Hey, wait a minute. Actually. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started then. So make yourself comfortable, grab your buzzers, and we'll jump right in to this first question. In the movie Son of Godzilla, a group of scientists find an enormous egg from which a creature named Godzilla Jr. hatches. Godzilla Jr., yes?
Actually, Godzuki?
No, I'm sorry. It's not Godzuki.
Oh.
Well, we don't know what the question is.
I'll start again from the beginning. In the movie Son of Godzilla, a group of scientists find an enormous egg from which a creature named Godzilla Jr. hatches. Godzilla Jr. would later appear in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Nathan.
Actually, it wasn't scientists, it was tourists.
That's a very funny idea for like a kaiju movie. A group of unsuspecting tourists like stumble on a thing, but that is incorrect. No.
Actually,
yes.
He was not born of an egg. His mother gave birth to him, and it was beautiful. Mothra was the doula.
They got a big old camcorder. Godzilla's there. He's like, I gotta record this moment.
So it's not Godzuki,
You're
huh?
on the right track. I will say that. Like you're on the right track, but your specifics are wrong.
Oh, crud. Well, that's typical for me. That sounds about right. My specifics are wrong.
Yeah, no points for that one.
We're off to a rousing start.
There was no childbirth scene.
You know what?
I dreamt that.
These questions are intentionally very difficult. Actually, the creature that hatches in Son of Godzilla is Minilla or Minya.
Oh, I knew it!
Yeah.
I wanted to say the word Minya.
There's a different Son of Godzilla that is Godzilla Jr.
Gotcha.
That's right.
He's real goofy.
He's He's very goofy. He blows smoke circles, and he hangs out with this one kid, and like they like learn stuff. It was when like Godzilla went through its friend like we gotta be kid friendly phase. So there's like a couple movies in there that's just like kind of wacky.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because that's when like Rodan came up, and Rodan was around for a while, but he went through a phase where he became like Godzilla's frenemy, and it's like my favorite thing ever.
Rodan the sculptor?
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, wow. He uses his wings.
We're writing an amazing movie right now. A group of tourists find an egg, and Rodan the sculptor pops out.
In Japan, call us.
Well, no point for that one, but that's okay. We had a good time anyway. On to our next question, which is about The Simpsons. The Simpsons. In The Simpsons episode 201 Greyhounds, Mr. Burns ends up convinced by Bart and Lisa to spare the lives of the 25 puppies spawned from their dog Santa's Little Helper and his mate She's the Fastest. Unable to home the 25 dogs, Marge makes the kids distribute the puppies to random townsfolk, including Snake, Groundskeeper Willie, and Krusty.
Actually, there were not 25.
There were 25 Greyhound
Oh,
puppies.
damn.
Actually, not Groundskeeper Willie, but Chief Wiggum. We need one for the police department.
Classic quote.
No, that's not what
how
we're
Paw
going
Patrol
for.
started.
In an odd phrasing of this question, you are kind of you're maybe technically right, but you're not correcting the right thing here. There's something that is much bigger. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Chief Wiggum does take one. But
Yeah.
Okay. You have to read it again.
Yes, I will read it. It was a very long question. In The Simpsons episode 2001 Greyhounds, Mr. Burns ends up convinced.
I just want, I know I got it wrong. It's called 2001 Greyhounds, and I was like, that's 21. But
And
it's
then you said, I was
25.
wondering about that. I was like,
So you can take a point away.
Just bad math.
Because my math.
Yeah. Okay.
oh.
Actually, they don't convince Mr. Burns to spare the puppies. They they do some sort of caper to escape them instead.
You know what? I will. You're both shaking so hard.
Fingers all over this
You've
thing.
identified what is wrong. Your specific is right. So I'll give you the point unless Kirk or Haley can. Yeah, Kirk.
Actually,
Yeah.
the dogs do an amusing trick.
Well, no,
They do that's yeah, Haley, you're lit up here.
Actually, Mr. Burns takes favor to one puppy, and he's like, because it jumps up and begs, and he's like, oh, I'm going to keep this one, and he names it something ridiculous, and then Bart and Lisa use a clothesline to pull a sock over the rest of the dogs, and the dogs all jump up and beg, and he goes, now I can't tell the difference between any of them, so I'll kill them all. But then they get them out.
And actually, the name was the person who's always walking around, that famous person who's always walking around, Rory Calhoun.
Rory Calhoun, yeah.
This is incredible in that
We've danced around the right answer.
We've described so much of this episode. I think okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna give the point to Nathan, who has identified the main thing that's wrong. They don't distribute the dogs at the end of this episode. What I was hoping for, if someone could get more correct than Nathan, which is that Mr. Burns keeps all the dogs, and and
actually.
go ahead, Haley. Go ahead.
And then they all become winners in the greyhound racing
Yes.
because of their superior genetics, and somehow he wins again.
Yes, that is what actually happens. Unfortunately, it's too late to claim the point for that.
Well-
the scene that we're all thinking of when they distribute the dogs is from a later episode where Santa's Little Helper and Dr. Hibbert's dog, Rosa Barks, have a litter, and they distribute those puppies. So totally understand. Very tricky of us to confuse two dog distribution scenes.
That's the
Yeah,
one where
that's what
Chief
it was.
Wiggum
Yes.
says, "Oh, we could use
Oh, the famous line.
And there were not 25 puppies for that one.
We've described a whole lot of that episode. Unfortunately, we didn't get that specific detail for
Right.
either of you to claim it, so I'm going to give that one to Nathan
that's
for getting
fair.
it. And
That's
point
fair.
for
I'm
Nathan.
personally ashamed at myself every
You got
time
there.
I
You
do
just
these-
need that
yeah,
little bit, that little
yeah.
boost at the end.
There we go. Just
If you just keep describing the episode, eventually you'll get to
We'll
the
rewrite
part,
the whole
yeah.
Exactly.
Infinite monkeys here typing away.
Oh my God.
Which is also a scene in
Yes.
Mr. Burns'
Yes.
mansion in The Simpsons.
Best of
so.
times it
The
was
blurs
the blurs of times. You stupid monkey.
Yeah.
And this is everything I want from this show.
Great.
It's just
Great.
endless quotes. In Westeros, Valyrian steel swords are particularly prized. They are exceptionally sharp, never need honing, and the technique to make Valyrian steel was lost when doom befell Valyria. Jon Snow acquires the Valyrian steel sword Ice when he is gifted it by Jeor Mormont.
Actually, Ice is Ned Stark's sword.
That's correct.
Whoa.
That's correct. Ice is Ned Stark's sword. Jon Snow doesn't have that sword. Jon Snow's sword is. Do you know? I'm going to give you the point no matter what. But I'm just curious if you can pull a name out from thin air.
Mr. Putter? Oh, that's a Simpsons joke.
God damn it!
Actually, his sword's name is Rory Calhoun.
Yeah, his sword is always
it can
walking.
stand on its own.
He begged for him, and then
We'll give you the point, Nathan. Yeah, Ice is Ned Stark's sword, which is
gets
later melted down and
down.
turned into two different swords. Jon Snow's sword is Longclaw, which he does
that's
get
right, yeah.
from Jeor Mormont. Also, they address this in the show, but like, don't name a weapon. Don't name your sword. That's like that. Like, if you met someone and they're like, "Let me show you my gun," I call it, like I'll call it the Boom Maker. It's like I need to get out of here. Yeah.
I thought you were going towards like guys naming their swords in general, like sword guys, because I'm like every girl's dated a sword guy, but like didn't know, and then you're like I thought this guy was okay. Then I came home and he's like, got two swords on the wall, no headboard, and he has a snake. And you're like, well.
I feel bad because I feel like you're describing a specific person.
Yeah.
No, man, this is truly an archetype that has arisen in our time.
Dated several snake and sword guys in your time.
All I'm
You
saying
got a
is,
type. Well, that's a point for Nathan.
I wanted to get at least 1 point, and I did it. So now I
Yeah.
can just relax.
All right, this next one is about Tailspin, the animated show Tailspin.
wow.
Tailspin in some ways seems to be a spin-off of The Jungle Book in that it also features the character of Baloo. But this version of Baloo wears clothes, flies a plane, and is the only character from The Jungle Book to appear in the series. Yes, Kurt.
Actually, come on. We have Louis, King Louis, but he's no longer a king and he wears a Hawaiian shirt. And let's not forget Shere Khan. Why did I'm so indignant about that. That question is so up my alley.
So funny.
I actually didn't have Louis on here, but I did. Shere Khan was what I was going for. Is King Louis also in the show?
Yes.
He must be.
Amazing.
Yes. No, I'm 100%.
How are you gonna have
You know,
a show
actually, now that
about-
you say Hawaiian shirt, that image is like
Yeah, once you
totally-
said that, I was actually
They're
like,
all wearing
yeah.
Hawaiian shirts,
Blue,
right?
Yeah,
wears,
they-
Blue wears khaki.
Okay.
Shere Khan's like a evil
Yeah, he's
criminal
like a
banker.
businessman.
Yeah, he's wearing a suit.
He went from hating humans to really embracing the human way of doing things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Apparently, it was something like they wanted something that felt like a mix of like Casablanca and Cheers, as this sort of like, it's like we want this sort of like it to be like this sort of like mid/post war. There's so like the implication is that there is like this giant world war that's going on like outside like this little harbor that's very safe, and then we want this kind of like we want this sort of like Sam and Diane thing going on between Baloo and his boss.
It feels like fan fiction, right? It's
Yeah.
just like we took these characters from this thing and we're like, what if it's an alternate universe where animals fly planes? And
Yeah,
That's so silly.
it's a
I
very
love it.
silly,
I
very
love
silly
it.
show.
Kids loved Casablanca.
Yeah, that's right.
And
All
Cheers.
right, well, with that, we will move on to our next question. And this brings us to our very first shiny question of the game. Now, shiny questions, just like shiny Pokemon, so they're worth the same number of points. They're just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. Now, this is a game called Fictionary. In just a second, I'm going to give you the name of a monster from folklore, from some kind of folklore, and I'm not going to give you anything other than the name. And it'll be up to you to draw, to the best of your ability, this monster. Now, I'm not going to be looking for like the best drawing here, but I'll be looking for a few key features that are sort of like definitional to the creature. Great. So your monster is the Kappa. Kappa. Kirk with a gasp and a quick pen.
I have a photograph of one on my phone.
Very strange, a very strange thing.
Boy, what artistic point of view do I want to take for this?
Yeah, what school, what tradition of art are we looking for here? I'll say there's specifically 3 things that I'll be looking for here in your drawing of the Kappa.
I'll give you guys a hint. He's Japanese. That's a freebie from Kirk. You get 1. You get 1. Maybe 2.
Kirk is capping his pen.
Capping for the Kappa.
Capping for the Kappa. Nathan is capping his pen.
Okay.
And Haley is ready. All right, well, you were tasked with drawing the most accurate representation you could of a Kappa. Let's see what you got. Nathan, show us your Kappa.
That's really good.
It's
Thank
really,
you.
really good.
You bastard, man.
You gave me a drawing challenge.
All right, Nathan, tell us about your Kappa.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure they're like the root of Koopa from Mario. And I remember it also, there was a College Humor video about like the other different Greek letter type of males, and the Kappa male was, because Caldwell made it. And
Yeah.
so I tried my best to remember. They've got like a thingy on their head and they're turtle-like.
You've got the things that I'm looking for, the divot in the head, the turtle shell, a little beak. So those are the main things.
The Mario is just for
wasn't
fun.
necessary, but always great to see Mario pop in when he's around.
That's for you, nerds.
That's a pretty accurate representation of a Kappa. Haley, let's see what you got.
Oh, but is it?
But hold on, let's see what I've got.
Well,
Oh.
I think we all know what a Kappa Yubara looks like.
That's it for this preview of Actually. If you enjoyed it, I have good news. There's a lot more of it over on Dropout. Go to dropout.tv and start your free trial today. And fun fact, I'm not wearing any pants right now. You're gonna see 6 cartoon characters and 6 names along the side. It'll be up to you to match the voice actor who voiced these particular characters.